Well, you guys, I have failed 75 hard again. Michelle and we just drove back from Houston, by the way. So I'm a little tired, a little out of it. But I failed again. I was on day 14. And I didn't plan correctly, and I just wasn't disciplined enough. Um, so let me explain real quick. 75 hard. For those that don't know, basically, it's when I tell you like all the things that you have to do, it sounds like it's a weight loss or uh, like a fitness challenge, but it's actually not. It's a discipline challenge. And so basically, what it is for 75 days, you have to follow these specific rules. If you mess up on even one of the rules, you have to start all the way over. And so I now have been doing it for about 21 days because I've failed before. This is my second time failing. And the crazy part about this is I I could have I could have easily like not convinced myself, but I could have easily like just brushed one of or two of the things to the side and be like, it's fine. I'm just gonna keep going. So before I dive into how I failed and why I'm a failure, it sounds so dark. For 75 hard, the five things, or no, yeah, I think it's five things. Let me pull it up. There's an app that you can download. That's called 75 hard. Okay. Anyways, so the rules that you have to follow every day are as follows. You have to work out twice a day, every day for 75 days. One of those workouts must be outside. Doesn't matter if it's rain or shine, must be done outside. Each workout has to be 45 minutes or longer, but it's recommended 45 minutes. And each workout has to be separated by at least a couple of hours, because I think the thought there is you want to avoid just basically saying, oh, if you go on a 90-minute bike ride, that counts as two workouts, or you lumping it into one 90-minute thing shouldn't count, so it doesn't count. That's actually how I failed my first time around. My first time around, I had done 75 hard unofficially for a week. Then I officially started it. Then I made it to day 4 or 5, in which I found out you can't group workouts together. Anyways, once I realized that, I started over. I admitted that I failed and I started over. The thing about that time is that was just like a lack of information, right? Like I didn't feel terrible about that because I didn't understand the rules thoroughly enough. Someone actually called me out on YouTube. So shout out to you. Thank you for holding me accountable. So I started over. Now I've been going at it for 14 days. And so the other rules are, sorry, it's a little all over the place, but the other rules are you have to drink a gallon of water. So there's the 2 workouts a day. You have to drink a gallon of water every day. You have to take a progress pic every day. You have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. It's advised that it's in the self-improvement kind of genre, which I actually love, so it's perfect for me. Those are actually the only books I enjoy reading. And then you also have to follow some sort of diet. The diet is a little bit more loose, if from my opinion, because if you want to, sure, do the ketogenic diet for 75 days, go vegan for 75 days, do whatever you want. But for me, because my goal is just to longevity and eating healthy, for me, it's just whole foods, like a whole food diet, no processed foods, no ultra processed foods. I've also been called out on that because technically almost all foods are processed a little bit, right? No ultra processed foods. And I try to avoid anything, definitely no cookies and anything unhealthy like that. No binge days, nothing. None of that is allowed. And if you do any of those things, you start over. So what happened for me was Michelle and I took a trip to Houston for some family things. And on the very first night we get there, we're celebrating Michelle's brother's birthday at a Korean barbecue place. And honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I actually think Korean barbecue can be okay if I'm just eating meat and veggies, but I indulged in some kimchi or seafood pancake, which is deep fried. I felt a little guilty about that. Then they busted out the cake. I only had about a couple pieces of that cake. And that kind of, I didn't talk about this with Michelle. I didn't share this with anyone. But that was kind of eating at me for this challenge. I shouldn't have done that. But I didn't, for the next day, I didn't say anything. I just kept like, all right, I'm going to do the 75 hard challenge. I worked out that night. I just kept going. But it was kind of eating at me. Then the day after, which was yesterday, the day just got ahead of me. I had planned to like work out in the morning, but then we got busy. We went to the movies. We like went to go visit family. We did all these things. And I did go and I worked out. I worked out for like 2 hours at a gym and it was great, but I didn't do 2 workouts. And Michelle and I walked around that morning when we went to the movies. We then walked around this like outdoor mall. And I could have convinced myself, or not even myself, I could have basically just kept moving through. It's okay. It's just a couple pieces of cake. It's okay. We walked for 45 minutes. That counts. Let's just keep moving forward. It's okay, Teddy. Teddy's here. But it was eating away at me. It was eating away at me. And so, long story short, it's like if I convince myself that it's okay to do those things and just keep moving, what's the point of the fucking challenge? The challenge, I don't want to sound rude or bad as I say this, but the challenge isn't for you guys. The challenge isn't for like, how many people on the internet can I impress by doing this? The whole point of the challenge is my own self-discipline. And it's almost like this test was exactly what this challenge is made for. When no one is looking, like how am I going to respond? And I couldn't convince myself in a good way, like it's fine. I'll just keep going. And so I'm starting over. And so I failed. So I'm starting over. Tomorrow is going to be day 1 again. And it is what it is. I shared, hold on one second. So I created a community, you guys, on School, and it's $1.99 a month to join this community. It's called the Main Character Club. I started it basically because I want to have a group where all of us hold each other accountable. And I share updates with this group every single day, and we all do. Everyone in the group. We're at like approaching 30 members, which is super cool. And if you're interested, link will be in the description in the ronjackson.com. But it's really just a group of a bunch of people that are looking to become the best versions of themselves. And so I wanted to create a community where it's nothing but that, like-minded individuals. I don't hang out with a lot of people that are on the same kind of wavelength or have the same aspirations that I do, or like have the same desire to work on themselves like I do. And so I wanted to create a community in which, we do a live Q&A every Friday where I meet with everyone in the group, and it's really cool, but it's really the accountability piece where we all hold each other accountable. And I want to read one quote, because yesterday, I failed again. And I wrote this whole post about kind of how I failed, why I failed, and at the end of the day, I basically, I said that I'm okay with failing. It's weird. With this challenge, like when I fail and I'm starting over, that just means that's a whole nother, 3 weeks where I'm going to be working on myself. So I'm kind of excited about it because the more I do this, the longer I do this, the better shape I'm going to be in, the more disciplined I'm going to be in, the better my mindset, the more progress I'm going to make. So should I really be mad? I want to read one quote that really stuck out to me, and shout out to Spartan Fish, aka Gabe, someone that I connect with quite a bit actually online because he's in the community. But he says, as someone who isn't actively doing 75 hard, so by the way, everyone in this community isn't doing 75 hard. It's not like everyone. I would say about half the people in the community are actively doing 75 hard. But he says, as someone who isn't actively doing 75 hard, but has just been adding a lot of it into their daily routine, the level of self-accountability that you've shown since starting this has been crazy. From someone on the outside looking in, it's hella cool to see. When I read that, I was like, I'm so glad that I have this community to share that I'm not perfect and that this isn't 75 easy. And and so that's it. I just kind of wanted, this video is more of an update. I failed, but I don't feel like a failure per se, because it's like, I'm okay with, failing is totally okay if you're trying and you're not giving up. So like, it's cliche, this is going to sound really cliche, but I'm okay with failing, but I'm not okay with not trying, and I'm not okay with giving up. And so that's that. I'm starting over tomorrow. If any of you watch this and you want to join the main character club, and we'll hold you accountable. Check it out. Share with us what your goals are, your struggles are. It's really all about that. We share kind of what we read, what we eat, progress. And then when we meet, we just talk about life, really kind of shoot the shit, if I'm being honest. But it's great because, like I said, it's a group of like-minded individuals who are all looking to ultimately just better themselves. And I did bring, so the price is $1.99 for the entire a month. I've kind of gone back and forth with pricing and things like that. Ultimately, I don't want to make it free because, if I'm being honest, I want there to be some level of accountability. I think if it's a free community, it's very easy for multiple people to join and then fall off, and or the feed could get flooded. And I want there to be, like, if you have to pay any amount of money, you're going to hold yourself a little bit more accountable. But I did lower the price because I would like to see a bit more people in there for more engagement. And I think the more people that there are on the same mission or journey, the more powerful the community is, right? It just makes sense. So check it out if you want. Obviously, no pressure. I'm still going to be updating my journey off and on here with this channel. But yeah, that's it. All right. Well, it kind of feels like cheating, but since I'm not starting till tomorrow, today is just going to be like a
pizza.
We're not doing pizza.
Oh.
But today is just going to be a chill day where I'm not going to read. I'm not doing 2 workouts, and Michelle and I are probably just going to chill on the couch and watch like a show
Because rot on the couch.
Because honestly, since starting this, we haven't been able to do that because I just don't have the time. So Michelle is so happy that I failed. She's so happy that I failed. All right. Well, that's all. I hope this message is just a reminder that it's okay if you failed at whatever you've attempted. Just make sure you attempt, and then make sure you get back up and see the thing through. That's it. We're all main characters. Main characters, as anyone who watches anime knows, if you're a main character, you're going to go through trials, tribulations, growth. You're going to get beat up. You're going to go through lessons. You're going to fail over and over. Every main character that we watch has failed. But never giving up. That's my magic. Peace.